Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Those of you who are new, my name is Gavra and I am a recent UCL chemical engineering graduate who has secured multiple investment banking internships at top firms and will be starting my career as a management consultant at a top 3 management consulting firm. I am also going to be a Harvard Business School student in the next 2 to 4 years, having gained a place on the Harvard 2+2 program, which gives me the option to study at Harvard to do my MBA. The aim of this YouTube channel for me is to help you achieve your career and educational goals, and I want to do that through inspiring you guys with my journey, the ups and downs of my journey, because if I look back to my time at university, I really wish that there was someone who could have sat there and told me it's all going to be okay, even in the times of rejection, even in the times of things not going the way I planned. And so now I just want to be that inspiration for you guys, and I hope you can help me do that by sharing my videos with people you know, people you don't know. Please do subscribe, please do like my videos, comment down below topics that you want me to cover, anything that you think will be useful for you to know, and I'll try and get my content out there. Today's video is going to be centered around CVs and some of the mistakes that people tend to make. Because recently I made a post on Twitter and LinkedIn offering free CV and cover letter help to people who came from non-fee paying schools in the UK, and the response was amazing. I never expected it to reach so many people. I received so many applications from people wanting help, and that just showed me that there really is a lot of people out there who haven't received that guidance on how to write a good CV and the things that they should and shouldn't be doing, particularly for the elite careers of investment banking and management consulting, which are the 2 careers that I have had a lot of success in gaining roles in. So I thought, why not just do a video where I just pick the top 5, I think it was 5, but yeah, the top mistakes that people were making in the CVs that I was reviewing as part of the scheme, but also just broadly in my career based off of advice that I've received along the way. And I'll also try and link a CV template in the description box for you guys to use. If you guys would like me to personally review your CV, feel free to check out my website. I'll link it in the description box, and you can book an appointment with me and I will provide feedback for your CV and also have a one-on-one Skype session where we can discuss the feedback that I've given. So let's get started. So I think the first mistake that a lot of people make, and that's actually probably the most catastrophic mistake to make, is that your CVs are too long. I cannot count the number of times that I've seen 3-page CVs, 4-page CVs sometimes. That's just way too long. I read a statistic somewhere that says that on average, an employer will look at your CV for 73 seconds. You have a minute basically to convince these people to give you a job. You don't want to waste their time by writing pages and pages of stuff that's going to turn them off of your application and make them move on to the next person. You need to make it concise, short and sweet, and the way to do that ideally is to keep your CV, for those of you who are recent graduates or undergraduate students, 1 page. I received some advice, I don't know who from, years ago, that said you should have 1 page per decade of experience. I've only just finished university, so I definitely don't have a decade's worth of experience. So my CV is 1 page, and I really do encourage people, particularly who are applying to investment banking and management consulting, it is a must that your CV is 1 page. For those particular careers, it's an unspoken rule that you don't have a CV longer than 1 page when you're applying for entry-level roles as a graduate student. But for the rest of you, you can get away with 2 pages maximum, absolute maximum. Also, it's really important that you don't write too much text underneath each experience. My rule of thumb is to have a maximum of 2 to 3 bullet points under each work experience, and each bullet point is no longer than 1 line. That's my personal rule, and it just makes your CV look clean. You have bullet point after bullet point going straight to the point, and it helps you make sure that you're being concise with the way that you're describing your activities, and also helps to save space because, like I said, you want to get your CV down to as few pages as possible. Because just think about it, right? If you were reviewing hundreds of CVs, do you want to have to be trawling through pages and pages to find the relevant information? No, you want it to be a snapshot, straight to the point and concise. So I really encourage you guys to reformat your CVs if you haven't done that already. The second mistake that I think is actually quite important to fix is a lot of people have very generic bullet points. In terms of your CV, you will have a section on your education and then a section on your work experience, and in that section you have bullet points underneath your work experience. And what a lot of people do is they literally just rewrite the job description. Okay, so for example, if I was a part-time tutor, I just say I tutor kids in secondary schools. Or you do an internship in an engineering firm and you say, I worked in an engineering firm doing XYZ. That doesn't tell the recruiter anything about you, about your skill set, about what you've achieved. You need to make sure that you're selling yourself. Your CV is a chance for you to brag about all of the achievements that you've achieved over the years. So you need to make sure that you're doing more than just writing what you did as part of that work experience. If you manage to improve the efficiency of a process, if you manage to increase the revenue of the department that you're working for, if you were able to transform a business area into doing things in a better way, if you were able to help students alongside your work full time, and if you volunteered as part of recruitment and HR events, all of these things are a way for you to impress employers with the things that you've done, while also demonstrating the skills that you possess, which will convince them that you're going to be right for the job that they're advertising for. And to go further than that, don't just write your achievements and leave it at that. Quantify, quantify, quantify. If you can, anywhere you can, include numbers, include figures, include outcomes, include impacts of the work you did. Don't just say what you did. And these will all go a long way to proving to employers that you're the right person for the job. The third mistake that a lot of people make is inappropriate formatting. I have seen green CVs. I have seen red, yellow. I've seen all colors of the rainbow in CVs. No, guys. Simple and professional is the way to go. Especially, I really just want to emphasize, investment banking, management consulting, do not use colors on your CV. Keep it black and white, keep it professional. It's just something that will instantly raise a red flag to people if you're using all colors of the rainbow, because it's just known that you shouldn't be using colors on your CV. It should be very simple, very professional, and like I said, black and white. Along with using inappropriate colors, a lot of people don't clearly separate the different sections of their CV. It's so important to use your headings as a way to do that. Write them in bold, underline them, make sure that it's very clear that that's the heading and then that's the section underneath. You shouldn't be using bold everywhere on your CV to the point where I can't really see what parts are headings and what parts are work experience. Of course, you can use bold for your work experience, but then maybe don't underline your work experience if you've underlined your heading. Things like this make it visually easier for recruiters to go to each section of your CV and find the information that they're looking for. The fourth mistake is really important, because this is what can make or break a CV. You can have amazing bullet points, amazing work experience, but if you have inconsistent formatting, you instantly raise red flags, because it shows that you don't pay attention to detail and you haven't taken the time to proofread your CV and make sure that you're doing things in a consistent way. So for example, if you start off putting bullet points on the end of sentences, make sure bullet points are on the end of sentences all the way through. If you start off putting dates next to the heading, keep them there. If you start off putting dates on the right hand side, which is what I recommend, then you keep them there. You can't switch between formats on each section because it looks like you haven't spent enough time on your CV. Also, things like if you use bold in some places and not other places. I've seen some people use bullet points in some work experiences, and other work experiences they haven't used bullet points. It's really important that whatever format you choose to use for one section is consistent with the format for the rest of the sections. And one tip that I always give, this is a personal preference, but a lot of people tend to put their dates right next to their heading, which can be fine, but I think it just makes your CV look a lot cleaner if you're separating out the date from the headings, because having too many words in one cluster detracts from the title of your work experience. And also, your date is important, but it's not as important as what you've done. So I tend to keep my date aligned on the left, keep saying left and right wrong, on the right hand side of my CV, and I reserve the left hand side of my CV for discussing my specific experiences and extracurricular activities. Which moves you on to my fifth and final mistake that people make, not including an extracurricular activity section. Guys, especially if you're applying to, actually for any firm really, companies don't just want to hire robots who all they've done is work and study. They want to see that you've done things outside of your education, outside of your work experience, to show your personality, to show that you've helped people, to show what you've done in the community. If you volunteered, that should be on your CV. If you've been a president of a society, that should be on your CV. And I really encourage people to have a separate section called extracurricular activities or positions of responsibility. And in this section, you really detail, you include all of the things that you've done outside of your primary activities, whether that's education or working full time. Also going further and making sure for the ones that are particularly notable, you should be bullet pointing maybe one bullet point max underneath each extracurricular activity, stating one achievement that you had during that activity that you're really proud of. And it just shows employers a different side to you, and that could be the deciding factor between you and someone else who doesn't have that on their CV. So those are my top tips for improving your CV, guys. I really hope you guys found this video useful. Like I said at the start of the video, if you would like to book some one-on-one time with me, feel free to go to my website, which is linked in the description box, and book an appointment with me, and I will do my best to help you guys with that. But for now, I'm going to end this video here, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye.